The research vessel, Aurora's Edge, drifted silently above the jagged surface of Clyra 7, a planet long abandoned by most interstellar colonies. Its atmosphere was thin, its deserts stretched like seas of silver dust, and its canyons hid centuries of forgotten civilizations. Commander Elias Hart had been sent here on a mission of humanitarian diplomacy, though no one truly expected him to return with more than data logs. The alien species known as the Vrylan had long fascinated human scientists. Their society was rich, their technology elegant, but rumors persisted of a tragic genetic flaw. Vrylan women were barren by birth. This particular flaw had made interactions with humans a delicate political dance. The United Earth Council had arranged for a human delegate to care for a single Vrylan woman, an offering meant to foster trust between the two species. Her name was Lyra. She had skin the color of night clouds, eyes like molten amber, and a presence that filled the sterile corridors of the research station. The Vrylan envoys had presented her with quiet reverence, their expressions a mixture of pride and sorrow. She was beautiful, and they said she could not bear life. Elias had expected companionship, perhaps insight into Vrylan culture, but nothing more. Elias approached Lyra cautiously, keeping in mind both protocol and the subtle warning in the envoy's eyes. She studied him with an intensity that unsettled him, yet it was not hostility he felt, rather a weight of something unspoken, a quiet longing that seemed to demand recognition. Over the first weeks, Elias and Lyra fell into a rhythm. She learned to navigate the station, to adjust to its human contrivances, and Elias found himself explaining Earth customs, sharing meals, and even laughing at his occasional clumsy attempts to entertain her. Lyra listened, sometimes offering observations that were sharp and surprisingly humorous, and slowly Elias began to understand why the Vrylan had chosen her. There was a spark of life in her that defied the bleak legends of her species. Still, the truth was always present. Lyra could not conceive, and this fact shaped every interaction. She avoided children, and conversations of family ended in quiet silence. Yet in her presence, Elias felt something shift inside him. The Vrylan gift was supposed to be a symbol, a political gesture, but to him, it became profoundly personal. It was during a mission in the lower canyons that the unexpected happened. They had been scanning the crystalline formations for signs of ancient Vrylan settlements when a sudden tremor shook the ground. Elias grabbed Lyra instinctively, pulling her behind a large shard of crystal, just as a fracture in the canyon floor opened beneath them. Rocks tumbled, dust clouded the air, and for a terrifying moment, it seemed as if the planet itself were swallowing them. When the dust settled, Elias was bruised but unharmed. Lyra, however, had vanished. The station launched immediate search operations. Drones scoured the canyon floor, and teams combed the jagged cliffs, yet there was no sign of her. Weeks passed, and the human delegation grew restless. The Vrylan envoys expressed their sorrow, but reminded the council that Lyra was ultimately beyond their control. Elias refused to accept that. He volunteered for every search mission, descending into the canyons himself, navigating narrow crevices and treacherous ridges. It was during one particularly grueling expedition that he found her not injured, not despondent, but perched on a ledge above a hidden oasis, her amber eyes reflecting sunlight. "You shouldn't have come alone," she said softly. There was no fear in her voice, only a quiet amusement. "I couldn't let you remain missing," he replied, his voice steady, though exhaustion gnawed at him. "We need to go back to the station." Lyra shook her head. "I am not lost. I am waiting." It was then that Elias noticed the small cluster of luminous seedlings at her feet. Their shapes were strange, alien, yet undeniably vibrant. He bent closer, marveling at the tiny sprouts. These are living organisms. Life." "Yes," Lyra said simply. Her gaze met his, and for the first time, The weight of her condition seemed to lift. I cannot bear children in the way your species understands, but life. I can nurture life, even where none should exist. Elias struggled to comprehend. The political narrative had framed her as barren, as a tragic figure, yet here she was, proving it wrong with quiet determination. Lyra guided him through the canyon to the oasis, revealing a hidden ecosystem that thrived despite the barren surface above. Strange plants, water pools teeming with microscopic creatures, and a subtle warmth in the air made it clear that Lyra had cultivated life against impossible odds. When they returned to the station, the Vrylan envoys were astonished. Elias presented the samples, the evidence of Lyra's creation, and their protocols shifted in real time. The council quickly realized that humanity's presence and Lyra's ingenuity had changed the entire understanding of Vrylan biology. In the following months, Lyra's relationship with Elias deepened. She taught him the subtle ways of Vrylan care, how to foster life in places humans had considered dead, and he taught her patience, humor, and the intricate dance of human empathy. Together, they nurtured both the alien seedlings and the fragile beginnings of a partnership built on mutual respect. Word of their success spread throughout the interstellar networks. Scientists arrived from distant systems, eager to study Lyra's oasis to learn how life could emerge in seemingly impossible conditions. The barren Vrylan woman had become a symbol, not of failure, but of unexpected resilience. And through it all, Elias understood the deeper truth. Humans were not merely observers or facilitators. They were catalysts for change, capable of inspiring life where none had been thought possible. Yet the story was not without challenge. The Vrylan nobility expressed both admiration and skepticism. Some feared that humans were interfering too much, that the presence of a human male alongside Lyra could destabilize their delicate traditions. Elias navigated the political currents with care, relying on both his training and the trust he had built with Lyra, her quiet confidence, and the undeniable proof of her ability to create life made their arguments persuasive. During a pivotal council session, Lyra spoke. Her voice carried across the chamber, strong and melodic. I was given a fate of emptiness, yet I have created life where none should exist. The presence of our human allies has shown that collaboration can defy limits. We are not weaker for needing help. We are stronger for accepting it. The room fell silent. The human delegates watched Elias with pride, and even the skeptical Vrylan representatives could not deny the truth in her words. Lyra had transcended expectations, rewritten what it meant to be barren, and in doing so, had changed the very definition of possibility for her species. In time, the oasis expanded. The once desolate canyons of Clara 7 became a hub of research and a sanctuary for life. Humans and Vrylan worked side by side, sharing knowledge, culture, and laughter. Children from both species visited, curious about the alien plants and the subtle ways Lyra nurtured them. Elias often found himself standing beside her, watching young seedlings grow in the sunlight, and feeling an overwhelming sense of pride. He realized then that humanity's greatest strength was not technology, nor diplomacy, nor even courage in battle. It was the willingness to act, to care, and to defy assumptions. Where others saw emptiness, humans saw potential. Where others saw failure, humans saw opportunity. And Lyra, the Vrylan once deemed barren, had embodied that truth, returning from the edge of despair, not just with life, but with hope that transcended species. As years passed, the bond between Elias and Lyra became legendary across the interstellar colonies. They were not merely caretakers of life. They were symbols of what could be achieved when compassion and courage combined. The barren Vrylan woman had not returned as she was given. She returned carrying life, ideas, and the proof that even the most rigid rules could be rewritten. And on quiet nights, When the twin suns of Clyra 7 dipped below the horizon, Elias would walk among the glowing seedlings with Lyra by his side. She would smile, her amber eyes reflecting the soft light, and he would know that the human spirit, drive to nurture, protect, and create, had not only changed the course of one life, but of an entire world. The galaxy had witnessed a miracle born from simplicity, a human's willingness to care, and an alien's courage to defy destiny. Together, they had turned barrenness into life, silence into song, and expectation into possibility. And in that transformation lay the essence of humanity, resilient, daring, and endlessly capable of miracles.